Okay, great leaders, let us continue still the study of the circle. In the previous class, I defined a circle as a closed round surface. I said a circle is not a polygon because the edges are not straight. And we all mentioned that a circle has a point, which is the center of the circle. We said the round distance of a circle is called circumference of the circle. And circumference of the circle is the same as the perimeter of a circle. We talked about also the chord. We said a chord is a line segment that has its ends touching the edges or the rims of a circle. And I also mentioned to you that a chord that runs through the center of a circle is called diameter. This is it, the center of the circle. This is a chord. This is a diameter. Circumference. In that manner, circumference. And what again? The radius, I said, the distance from the center of the circle to any point to the rim of the circle is called radius. And I said the plural of it is radii. So, and I also mentioned to you that a diameter has 2 radii. A diameter has 2 radii, and I wrote that mathematically as D is equal to 2R. A diameter has 2 radii. There are 2 radii in a diameter. Let us consider the arc today. Arc of a circle. Arc of a circle. The arc of a circle is simply the curved distance of a chord. The arc of a circle is simply the curved distance of a chord. Of a chord. This curved distance, this distance, is called the arc. That is the arc. The arc of the circle. The arc of the circle, I said, is the curved distance of a chord. The curved distance of a chord is called the arc of the circle. The curved distance of a chord is called the arc of the circle. Now, the portion that has to do, that contains the chord and the curved distance, that portion that has the chord and has the curved part, that portion, look at it here, that portion that has the curve in that manner is called the segment. It's called the segment. That portion that has the chord, that has the arc, is a combination of the chord and the arc. Remember, the chord is only a line segment. The chord is only a line segment that has its end touching the edges or the rims of a circle, while the arc is only the curved distance of that particular curve that we have, that curved distance defines the arc. Now, the combination, that portion that has to do with the chord and the arc, that portion that has the chord and the arc, that portion is called the segment. It's called the segment. It's called the segment of a circle. Now, if the portion is less than a semicircle. Now, in the previous class, we can produce a lot of chords. Now, I said we can produce a lot of chords like this. This is the center. We can produce this, produce. The one that runs through the center of the circle, which is called diameter. That line segment that runs through the center of a circle is called diameter. And that diameter shows that the circle is at halves. So it's called a semicircle. Semicircle. Now, if you have the segment, if the segment is less than a semicircle, which means from here downward, such segment is called minor segment. Such segment is called minor segment. If the segment is less than a semicircle, if the segment is less than a semicircle. If the segment is less than a semicircle, then it is called minor segment. If it is less than a semicircle, it is called minor segment. But if it is more than a semicircle, it is called major segment. Look at it. You have this as a circle given. You have that. This is minor segment. This is major segment. If the segment is more than a semicircle, if the segment is more than a semicircle, it is called major segment. If it is less than a semicircle, it is called minor segment. It's called minor segment. Let's consider the sector of a circle. The sector of a circle. Sector of a circle. The sector of a circle is an enclosure of two radii and the arc of the circle. A sector has two radii and the arc of the circle. That enclosure is called a sector. This is what I'm saying. You have this. You have the center of the circle. This, a radii or a radius, another radius. This enclosure that we have there, this, what we have there is called a sector. That is a sector. So a sector has two radii and the arc. A sector is a portion of a disc enclosed by two radii and an arc. A sector is a portion of the circle, that has two radii and an arc. So there we have the sector of a circle. So in today's class, we have considered the arc of a circle. We have considered segments of a circle, the segment of a circle, and we have also considered the sector of a circle. I said the arc of a circle is simply the curved distance of a chord. The arc of a circle is simply the curved distance of a chord, and I said the segment of a circle is simply the chord and the arc. That portion that has the chord and the arc is called the segment. That portion that has the chord and the arc is called the segment. Then here I said a sector is a portion of a circle that has two radii and an arc. Is called a sector. So carefully go through this. Then in our next class we'll talk more other parts of a circle. Thank you.